Judah took the bait.
I couldn't stop him.
You could have stopped him.
I tried.
Mary Yoder is 26 years old. Her 4-year-old son, Judah, is dead. She believes her husband will take the fall for it.
He accidentally took things way too far.
She does not realize the cameras in her own home are rolling. They recorded everything. The footage reveals a timeline that leaves no room for accidents.
And you know, they say everything happens for a reason, and God has a plan. But what's the reason for this? He's with Grandpa now. What if I never get closure for this?
At 3 in the morning on October 11th, 2021, Mary called emergency dispatch. She reported her son dead. She named his father, 28-year-old Alan Morgan, as the sole person responsible. Deputies arrived at the rural Union Township property. Trash covered the floors, rotting food filled the kitchen, a cord and lock secured the refrigerator. The basement resembled a holding cell. They found Judah in a back bedroom. Investigators removed evidence from the scene. The most crucial item was the hard drive containing the home security footage. It held the entire sequence of events. Alan went into custody first. Detectives suspected Mary held back details she preferred to keep hidden.
I just never thought at 26 I would be talking to police about my son being dead. Because of his friggin' dad.
Okay, so we have 5 total. And then Micah, Judah, Dexter, and Liam all lived with you, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have they all lived with you throughout their entire lives?
Liam has, Dexter mostly.
Okay.
And then for 4 years, I fought with DCS.
Okay.
Because they thought that Alan was what apparently he is.
Okay.
And I fought and fought and fought and fought to bring him home.
Okay.
And everything was good for a while.
Who had Judah before you were?
Gina. That's Alan's cousin.
Gina? What's her name? Last name?
I think.
You said?
I think so.
Where does she live at?
In like North Judson or something. Or Sanpierre. Actually, I don't know because I think they lost their house, so I don't know.
Okay. Were you able to see him while they had him?
Yeah, because I had the visits and stuff.
Okay. Did Alan ever have visits with Judah?
Yeah.
Okay. Were they all supervised visits with him?
It started off that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of like progressively transitioned into like the home visits and stuff.
Okay. Did Alan ever go and try to help you fight for Judah back? Because you said you were fighting hard for him back. Did Alan help you?
He worked a lot and he kind of doesn't talk really.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't like, when it came to like anything important, I was always the one to do it. Like any phone calls that needed to be made, any doctor's appointments that needed to be made,
mm-hmm.
like anything like that. I was, kind of responsible. Like all the court dates for DCS, I was the one that went because most of the time he was at work and stuff.
Judah tested positive for narcotics at birth. Child Protective Services noted prior abuse allegations regarding his older brother. They placed Judah with a relative. He lived there for 4 years. Despite documented concerns, the state allowed him to return to his biological parents. Within months, the worst-case scenario became reality.
He would send Judah downstairs. And a lot of times he would hit him. And I would go down there and try and tell him to stop. And he would just back up, go away. And I would tell him, like, you need to quit, dude. Like, you need to stop. Like, this shit's not okay. Like, you need to stop. He was like, just shut and go upstairs. And then there was times where I would get frustrated and I would tell Judah, like, please, can you please just stop ignoring him, please, so he will stop getting mad. Because I didn't know what to do. because I was scared that, you know, if I intervened too much, maybe, that I would be down there too. So sometimes I just didn't say anything because I knew that he would come back at me.
And when you would hit Judah, where and how much would he?
Sometimes I didn't see because sometimes I wasn't down there. Like sometimes he would go downstairs and I would be like upstairs with the other kids, and you know, I wouldn't really know where Alan went until I heard and then I would assume that he was downstairs, and I would open the door and try and tell him that's enough, and he wouldn't listen to me. And I would go downstairs and try and stop him, and he didn't. Sometimes he would stop, sometimes he wouldn't.
For how long would this happen every time you would go down?
A couple minutes.
Would Alan come back up and leave Judah down there?
If he didn't want to go to the bathroom, yeah, he would keep him down there. Or if he would ignore Alan when he was asking him questions.
How many times a day would this happen?
Once or twice, maybe. Usually only once, but...
And for a couple minutes at a time? Would it last longer than a couple minutes?
Not usually, because I got, I couldn't handle it. And I'd go down there and be like, okay, come on, dude, this shit's ridiculous. Like, you need to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was scaring Micah.
Where would he hit him at?
His arms, his legs, his back, his chest, pretty much wherever. Sometimes he'd kick him. And there was so many times that I tried to pull his hands off of him, or... It's like when he got like that, like he couldn't control himself. And it was scary because, like, I was pregnant and I was trying to, like, stop him. And there was, like, a couple times where he went to try and hit him and he almost hit me in my stomach. So I just kind of backed up. And I told him to stop, but he just, Alan, when he was really frustrated with him, he would make him sleep downstairs.
Was there a bed down there?
There wasn't a bed, but there was like a fluffy blanket that we had that
he would lay on.
Yeah. It was probably like the softest one I could find. It's like a Sherpa blanket. But.
And Alan would make Judah sleep down there if he was really frustrated with him.
Yeah. And I know I should have said something.
But did Alan, why did you not say anything?
Because I knew he would try and hurt me.
Would he say that to you?
I mean, he had.
What would he say?
He said, well, you know that if you say anything, you're going to lose all your kids and you're never going to see them again. So I would suggest you just keep your stupid mouth shut.
Would Alan threaten you or any of the other children?
Not the kids, no. But me, all the time.
Would he threaten you about this incident or these incidents with Judah?
Not like directly, no, but it was more of like the generalized thing. Like I just said, like with like if you say anything, you're going to lose all your kids and you're not going to have a house and you're not going to have shit. And that's, I feel like, honestly, why I didn't, because he was all I had, you know. Him and my kids were, I don't really have friends like that, you know, like me and my family don't really get along.
And you guys don't get along because of Alan? Or did you get along?
I mean, me and my mom have always had a really shitty relationship. But ever since I was with Alan, it's been worse.
Would Alan do this same thing that he would do to Judah to any of the other children?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think he just did it just to do Judah?
I honestly couldn't tell you, because if it was like a few months ago, like anyone would say that they were like the closest, you know. Judah was like his little mini me.
And fast forwarding, how did you find out about what occurred?
Alan had called me, like freaking out.
Do you remember about what time that was?
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe like 1:30 maybe. That's a like total guesstimate though. Like
Okay.
I don't actually know.
That's fair.
I don't even know what time it is right now, so I'm like completely out of it. But like he called me and I immediately didn't know what to do because he said, Mary, I don't know what to do. And I said, Alan, what did you do? And he said his temperature is really low and I can't get it back up, and I've been trying to do CPR on him for an hour. And he said he up and he didn't know what to do. And I told him he needed to call somebody. And he said, I'm not calling anybody because I'm going to go to prison. I'm like, Alan, you need to call somebody before something happens. Like, you need to call somebody, because he said, you know, he had said that his heart was still beating. And I told him to call, like, so many times. And Alan wouldn't call, and I don't know why I started praying instead of calling an ambulance. But then I got up after I prayed, and I went and told Morgan that I didn't know what to do, and I was freaking out. And she was like, we need to call now.
Have you communicated with Alan any other times since that contact?
No, sir. The last time I talked to him, I told him, well, after that phone call, and I called somebody, like I told Morgan and she called and I called as well. And I called him. I was like, listen, I'm sorry. I love you. And I will always have love for you. Okay. But he needs to be okay. And if there's something that seriously wrong, I'm sorry, but I already called. He's like, are you kidding me? I'm going to go to prison. I'm like, you know what, Alan? I'm sorry. And I've never had the balls to say this to him before. But something in my heart didn't feel right. And I said, you know what? I'm not choosing you over my kids. But when I finally had the balls to say it, it was too late. And now he's gone. Because I didn't say anything.
The autopsy confirmed homicide by blunt force trauma. Older injuries contributed to his death. Mary did not call for help when she had the chance. While recovering in the hospital from delivering her 5th child, she texted Alan about Judah. Her son's condition was deteriorating. Alan asked what to do. Mary gave a clear directive: figure out how to fix the bruises. During a phone break, she called her grandmother. The older woman did not yet know. Mary delivered the news.
Hi, Grandma. I take it my mom didn't tell you, did she? I take it my mom didn't tell you, did she? I take it my mom didn't tell you, did she? Judah's gone? I said, Judah is gone, Grandma. Judah. Grandma, I really don't know how. He's gone, Grandma. I really don't even wanna explain, but you have it's only fair if you know. Well, everyone was right, and everyone was right, okay? Everybody's been sitting here telling me I told you so. Alan is in prison, or will be. Alan? Because he accidentally took things way too far and he hurt him. And Grandma, I don't want to have to say it again. He's in prison, Grandma. And that's where he belongs. Grandma, I thought we already went over this. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but, like, I really don't want to have to repeat myself, okay? Like, I really don't. Like, I don't want to have to say it again, okay? It's okay. No, there is nothing you can do, Grandma, okay? I have to go, though, okay? I have an officer that's trying to speak to me so we can figure things out, okay? I love you, Grandma. Bye. I really hope she doesn't have, like, a freaking heart attack.
To do it, just so we don't have any distractions. I'm going to take this phone. I'm going to set it right on the ledge of my office door. You see that little ledge right there? I'm going to set it right there, okay? Just so we can focus a little bit and have a good conversation here. Okay, does that sound okay? All right. Let's set it right here. You go watch me. Okay. I think Christina's going to join us again.
Good on Sprite water?
Okay. Mary, so there's just a lot of questions about everything, and I don't have a clear picture of everything that's happened. And obviously you have a lot of questions too because you're at the hospital with stuff that happened at the house. Okay. When did you go to the hospital?
Saturday at like 3 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Something like that. Like.
Were you full term? Your pregnancy had been fine?
Yeah.
How many weeks along were you?
I was 39 weeks. I was due on the 13th this month.
Okay. Leading up to Saturday, which was the 9th, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Leading up to Saturday the 9th, Micah, Judah, Dexter, and Liam were all living in the house with you?
Yes, sir.
And it's my understanding that there's a time period that they weren't living with you.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about that.
Basically, my mom wanted custody of Micah, and she called DCS on me because she told them I was smoking and that Alan had hit Micah, which was not the case because that was me playing way too rough with him. And I told DCS that, and nobody believed me because everybody said it was Alan. And I tried to explain to them that it was because I was being too rough with him, and they didn't listen. And they told me to quit covering for him. And I tried to explain, like, that's not what was happening. Well,
Did Micah have some sort of bruise?
He had a mark on his
A
face.
mark on his face.
Because I was sitting here, like, kind of, like, come on, get mad, like, playing with him. And
Kind of place that.
I was being obviously way too rough with him.
So then shortly after Micah went to go stay with your mom, Judah was born.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did Judah come home with you?
I was given permission to live with my friend's mom, and she was like placement for him, but I was allowed by DCS to live there. So I lived there with him and her for like 3 months, and then she got upset because I wouldn't sell her my food stamps anymore. And
So it was June when Judah was born.
Yes.
You lived at Maple Tree for a few months.
Yes.
And then moved to 11th Street with Alan.
Yeah.
So it was you, Alan, and Judah.
No. She was still placement of him.
Okay.
But because I pissed her off, she called DCS and said she wanted him moved. And at which point he went to a foster home for like a month or two, and then he went to Gina, which was the cousin that he was with up until
Okay. Whose cousin is that?
Alan's.
It's Alan's cousin.
Mm-hmm.
said her name's Gina.
Mhm.
And at what point did, because all the children were living on 875, when did that merger, when did you guys all reunite at that residence?
Micah's home trial ended around Christmas of last year. Ouch. And Judah's ended, I believe, in like May or the beginning of June, like the end of May. Beginning of June or something like that.
Once you guys were all back in the house, so it was Micah, Judah, Dexter, Liam, you, and Al.
Yes.
We were all at the house there together.
Yes, sir.
How was the atmosphere there?
For a while, it was really good. You know, like, I mean, me and Alan have always had kind of like a on and off relationship, but
How long have you guys been together total?
6 years.
Okay.
Since September 15th of 2016.
You guys went on and off
I mean,
from
we've been
2016 to current date.
well. The longest we were actually like apart, like we weren't together, was like a month.
Okay.
I mean, we like fought all the time.
What did you guys
but
fight about?
Stupid shit. Whether it was a guy that tried to like my picture on Facebook, or someone tried to message me, even if I didn't know who it was. It could have been anything. Like, I could have just said something that was like what he considered stupid.
How would things be with the kids, with Micah and Judah?
So
And Leah?
there was no like issues up until like the last time that Gina and Phil came to the house.
And Gina and Phil had custody of Judah
Judah, yes.
for a few years.
Yes.
Okay.
Most of his life,
Yeah.
And I guess I got frustrated because he had gotten in their car and took in their keys out of the ignition and took off, and he thought it was funny. And they didn't say anything to him about it. And I thought that was like not appropriate, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like went and grabbed the keys and gave it back. I didn't say anything to them, which in hindsight, maybe I should have been like, listen, I don't think this is appropriate. But I didn't say anything. I kind of just handed them back their keys.
Months earlier, Judah tried to take the ignition keys from the foster parents who raised him. He wanted them to stay. He did not know how to articulate it. Now he lived in a basement with his biological father. His mother remained upstairs.
You said not acting the same last couple of weeks. How would he handle the situation with Judah?
He started bringing him downstairs and having him like kind of like do like an exercise, I guess. So he would have him like kind of do like an A. Like he would kind of have him like not do a push-up, but like put his feet on the ground and then put his hands on the ground and kind of like stick his butt up in the air, thinking that maybe like doing like a workout would change something.
Okay, so I've not been to your house. Is this like a single-story house?
It's a like main floor, and then there's a basement.
A basement. So you say downstairs, you're talking about in the basement of the residence.
Yeah.
And explain the basement to me again. I apologize. I've not been to the house.
It's some old stairs that go down into like a really big basement that just has a bunch of crap in it.
Okay, so
Like, it's none
mainly
of
for
it-
storage. It's not really a living area.
No, that's
Is-
the landlord's stuff. Like, that's all of his stuff.
Is there electricity down there?
Yes. But he kept the lights off most of the time because he was, I think, trying to like kind of scare him into behaving, I guess.
Okay, so there were lights down there, but Alan wouldn't turn them on when he took Judah down there.
Yes.
Okay. So that started in the last couple of weeks. He would take him down there and make him do this pyramid exercise.
Yes.
And what else?
And then he just continued to not do what Alan wanted and go to the bathroom. And there was multiple times where I would go downstairs because I would be upstairs with the other kids and I would hear a noise and I would open the door and he would be down there yelling at him. And I'd go down there and I would try and get him to stop.
What was he doing?
punching him. He kicked him a few times. He taped his hands up, put him like up against the pole, and tied his hands up.
What did he tie him up with?
Duct tape. And if he didn't answer him, he would punch him.
Did you see him do this?
And I tried to tell him to stop, and he kind of just told me to shut up and go away. You're not helping, just go away. And he wouldn't stop.
In the last 2 weeks, how many times do you think Judah, to your knowledge, was taken downstairs to the basement?
I mean, there's a couple times he stayed down there for a few days. Like, he stayed down there for like 2 days.
Judah?
And then he would bring him up because Judah would start, going to the bathroom. And then he would stop again because the other kids got something that he didn't like that he didn't. And then he would bring him back downstairs.
When Judah was left in the basement for for a couple days, would you guys bring him up to eat or take food down to him? Or how did that work?
It kind of depended on Alan's mood, I guess.
And if you guys didn't feed him, I mean, tell me that.
There was a couple times.
Honest with me.
There was a couple times that Alan said, "Okay, well, if you don't want to answer me, you're not going to eat." And I was like, "You got to give him something. Like you can't just starve him."
So there were incidents where Judah was withheld food.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I would sneak him food when.
What would you sneak down there?
I would try and give him like a banana or some fruit or something so that he could eat something or drink something.
And Alan would let you take that down to him, or you would do it without him knowing, or how would that work?
Do it without him knowing, because if he knew, he would tell me that I'm coddling him or I'm spoiling him or this is why he does what he does.
And when you would go down to give him this food,
I would try and talk to him.
To Judah, what would you say to him?
I would say stuff like, listen, I understand that you have a hard time going to the bathroom, but I really need you to try because I don't want your dad to get mad. And I don't want him to get mad at you, and I don't want him to get mad at me. And I know you don't like this, and I don't like this, and I'm trying to help you, but I really need you to, please stop ignoring him because there's only, I can't do anything when he gets mad, and
What would Judah say to you?
He said he would tell me that he would go, and sometimes he would. But then as soon as he saw Alan or heard him, he would completely shut down and stop talking.
He'd freeze up.
And Alan got pissed off at him, and
Why do you think he would do that? Why do you think Judah would do that?
Because he was scared of him.
He was scared of him, right? He was scared of him. Now, obviously, the potty training issue would become frustrating as a parent. Tell me about when you get frustrated with Judah in those situations.
I've said mean things. I've called him stupid.
Call him stupid? Was that why he was in the basement?
There was one time because he wouldn't answer Alan, and I got pissed because I just wanted him to answer so Alan would stop. And I was like, God, you're being stupid.
Where did this take place at? Where at the house?
I had opened the door, and
the basement door?
Yes.
Would that door be locked?
No.
Okay. So you opened the basement door and you just yelled down at Judah?
I would be like, listen, are you going to talk? Or because your dad's going to, he's going to be pissed if you're not going to talk. Are you going to go to the bathroom? And he would say, if he would say no.
So you're frustrated with Judah and you were frustrated with Alan too, right?
I don't think it was really frustrated with Alan. I think it was more, scared of what he could do to either of us.
But to the point where you would call Judah stupid for not talking because you didn't want Alan to blow up.
Yeah.
So you're stupid, right? Tell me about the times you because of your frustration, you took Judah down in the basement.
I mean, I personally never took him down there. That was always Alan.
So you never took Judah down, but you would go down and check on him, talk to him, maybe sneak him some food. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Mary told detectives she secretly brought Judah food. The cameras showed a different routine. The footage captured Mary walking Alan and Judah down to the basement. Sometimes she sent him down there herself. She offered excuses. The detectives stopped buying them.
Told him to stop because it was too much, but he never did. But you didn't take that extra step, right?
No, didn't. And I should have. But I didn't. There's no reason. There's no excuse for why I didn't. I mean, I was scared, yeah. I didn't want to lose my kids. I didn't want to lose him. I didn't know what to do. Like, I was trying to protect Judah, but I couldn't because I was too scared. Because I had been in the place before. Like, he had hurt me before. And I guess I was selfish, and I didn't want to.
You let Judah take the beating.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I didn't know. I couldn't stop him.
You could have stopped him.
I tried. Like, I literally tried to pull him off, and he wouldn't stop.
How long would you watch him do it?
I wouldn't watch him. I would go down there and I would try and say something, and I would try and talk to Judah, and it wouldn't stop. So I went back upstairs and tried to deal with the other kids, and then either he would come back upstairs or he wouldn't. And if he didn't, I would go back and be like, you need to stop. Like, you need to come upstairs. You need to quit. And then if he would come upstairs, sometimes he would push me out the way.
Did you ever try to call 911 during one of those incidents?
No, I did not.
Did you reach out to a family member? DCS? Did you scream out the front door?
No. So I didn't know what to do. Like, I knew what I should do, but
And you told Jesse that you, right?
Yeah. I said by not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because I should have said something. I should have done something.
And you told him prior to calling the police, you told him that meeting you and Alan.
Yeah, because he was doing what he did, and I didn't do anything about it.
Here's one thing I want to make sure that we're clear on, Mary.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate you talking with me to help me piece this back together. I need to make sure that your involvement isn't any more than what you've told me to this point. Because if we do find out down the road,
I totally understand that.
okay, you know that
I have.
We've been trying to be here with you and help you through some of your thought process here and a lot of this. Okay, so we've been here with you. I'm not against you in any of this, but I've got to know that your involvement wasn't any more than what you've told me up to this point. That you didn't put your hands on him. You did not help Alan in some of those situations. Because if you did, just tell me.
There was times where I stood there because I didn't know what to do. Okay.
You stood there and didn't know what to do because you were scared of Alan and didn't know how to handle the situation. Did you help with the beating of Judah?
No. There had been time, like I had slapped him in his face one time. I did.
Slap?
Yes.
Okay.
I had,
Was that in the basement?
I think, yeah,
Okay.
it was, because I got really frustrated and I was just like, dude, just tell him what he wants to know.
I get that. You're frustrated with him just not saying anything. I understand that.
I just wanted him to talk so that Alan wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Did you take Judah downstairs
No.
to have that conversation with him? He was already down there.
Yes.
So you went down and said, dude, just talk. Talk to your dad. So everybody will settle down, right? And you open hand slapped him. Right?
Yes, one time I did.
One time.
And I felt immediately like a piece of shit.
You called Alan prior to calling 911, right?
Yes.
And you stated to him,
No, I told Jesse that.
I'm sorry, you told Jesse that. You told Alan's brother Jesse. What do you mean by that?
I meant that I didn't do shit, and now Alan's saying that something happened to him, and I could have done something.
You feel like you could have put a stop to this long before it ever got to this point, right?
And I didn't.
You did. Okay.
There's no excuse. I should have said something. There's no excuse. It didn't matter if I was scared. I should have said something. Point blank, period. It is what it is. I should have called somebody, said something. And I didn't.
So if you could, as much as you can, be patient with us for the next few minutes. And we're going to try to figure that out. And might pop in and talk to you and see if there's anything we can do for you. But it's going to take us a few minutes. Okay?
So by a few minutes, you mean like I'm going to be sitting here for a while?
Oh, I can get you some water and we still have those sandwiches if you're hungry.
I don't want any food. I just want to see my kids.
Do you want to lay your head down for a minute?
No.
I know you want to see your kids, and we're trying to work towards, what those next steps are. But there's a lot in play with this, and a lot of people that are involved that we have to talk to let them know some of the information that we have. Okay, what we're learning about this whole situation. And that's what we're going to do.
Mary asked to see her remaining children. That request was denied. Police placed her under arrest immediately after the interview. The charges included 2 counts of neglect of a dependent, failure to report abuse, and cruelty to an animal. The family dog had also starved. The next day, Mary realized the corner she had painted herself into. She requested another meeting with detectives to fix the narrative.
Hi, Mary.
Hi.
How are you?
Well,
How are you today? I know yesterday was rough, but that's a bit rough.
Well, I think that something that happened this morning gave me the strength that I needed to fully talk.
I'm going to indicate that you have something that you want to say, so I'll let you lead the discussion here.
So, the first thing that I want to talk about is yesterday I was asked why I didn't say anything. I believe you were the one that had asked me, okay, so why didn't you say anything? And I said, I don't know, I just didn't. Okay, well, that wasn't true. Because the reason I didn't say anything is because I knew that the second I tried to call somebody, he was going to take the phone. And if I tried to run out the door, because you asked why I didn't go out the door. And the reason is because he wouldn't have let me get out the front door. Because when he was hurting me, I tried to call the police. And he took my phone. And then I tried to get out the front door, and he wouldn't let me out. So I knew what would happen. He also used to tell me that if I did call somebody, and if I managed to get a hold of the police, that he would give them a reason to be there. So I knew that if I said anything to anybody, who knows who would be hurt? Who knows how bad? Who knows what he would do? I don't want to see his name. I don't want to see his face. But see, the thing is now, like, regardless of if I'm ever able to leave here, which I really hope to God that I can, so I can change my life and do something. And I'm free now, you know? I know that he can never hurt anyone ever again. So I know that now I'm safe to say what happened, you know? I'm safe to do what I need to do to protect myself and my kids. I know that I didn't do that before, but I'm free now. And he can't hurt me or anyone else anymore. I guess I almost kind of hoped that someone else would realize who he was and do something to him for what he did. If I said something, maybe that'd stick with me. But I wanted him to know how much of a piece of shit he was. I mean, I've called him before. I've called him a monster before because of what he's done to me. And I told him that what he was doing was wrong, but he didn't care. But I felt like yelling, even though the officers that were up there did not appreciate me yelling out of my door, which I fully understand. That's not mature or appropriate, but what other chance would I have gotten to express my disgust and my hatred for him? Because I never thought I would see him again. I never thought I would have to. So when I saw that nasty, disgusting, I just needed to let it out. I haven't been able to speak with a counselor, a therapist, a grief counselor, anything at all.
But this is, and I'm going to be blunt about this. This is a shitty situation all the way around.
It's more than that.
It is more than that.
There's no explanation of how to describe it at all, and there never will be. And it's my job to do whatever I freaking can to fix what I can, even though the situation is not fixable.
But the steps from here on out require, or should require, honesty. It should require full disclosure.
Yeah. What else do you want to know?
As painful as those steps are, that's what needs to occur.
Like, I don't know if you guys are looking for something else in specific, but as far as I am, I've been thinking. And I've been trying to make sure that I've told you guys everything. And as far as I understand, like, the stuff that I just brought up, those are things that I've been thinking about, and I realized that yesterday I should have said those things, and I didn't yesterday.
So what throws up maybe a flag for us, Mary, is when somebody wants to come back down and say, you know what, I wasn't fully honest, or I didn't really give you the whole story. So that, from an investigator standpoint, makes you think, okay, what wasn't she or he maybe truthful about? What pieces of the puzzle are we missing? Can this person be trusted with what they're saying?
And I understand that.
Hold on. Not one of us has sat down and spoken with you saying, she's full of shit. Not one of us. We think that you're being, hold on, man. Let me go. I'm doing my best to be courteous and not interrupting you. We think that you're providing us and disclosing information. However, there are certain things that when we sit down and look back and think about it, there may be more pieces that we're missing. And that's where I'm saying do you need to come in here and wash your sins?
And that's the whole reason why I wanted to come and talk to you guys again, is because I realized that the things that I have just told you are not things that I said yesterday.
Okay.
Mary, I'm going to have to apologize to you, but I'm going to have to step out because I have an appointment I got to also take care of. Are you going to be okay just talking with
Yeah, that's fine.
as well? Okay. All right. It was good talking to you, though. Okay.
You
I
want to go up
appreciate
and
you.
see if we can get hold of the nurse and
That would be really nice if that's possible.
I said that we'd make an attempt to get that process expedited. I told you from the beginning that I'm not going to promise anything because I can't, but we can go through it. And
Is there any way that we could maybe see if they would put me in a room with somebody that's maybe like closer to my age that's not withdrawing from heroin and like screaming on the phone all the time?
I can ask them, but
If not, it's okay.
I can ask them, but ultimately placement is at their discretion.
Okay. Do you guys have any idea when you would know what's going on yet?
I would hope by this afternoon, but again, I'm not in charge of this thing, so I don't know. It should be relatively soon.
I just want you to understand that I truly, I'm really trying to do whatever I can to be as fully honest and open with you guys as possible. I don't want to hold back anything at all. So if something does come to mind, I would say something.
Okay.
Because I don't know.
None of us have sat here and said that you're lying. None of us have sat here and contradicted anything that you said, right?
No. It's just I feel like that's because of my past too. Is I always feel like everyone wants more from me, and I'm trying to do what I need to do to help and be honest, but it's everyone my whole life has always told me, you're not doing enough. You're not saying enough. You're not.
Well, you can only say so much, though, right? There's only so much to say, right?
But it's everybody always wants more. There's only so much that I can say, that I can do, that I can give, I don't know why I called Jesse instead of called him first. Or called 911. I mean, I'm sorry.
I got it.
Now that's really.
You've heard the cliche, hindsight's 20/20.
No, I actually haven't. Maybe I've heard it, but I don't know what it means.
We can look back at things, and when we second guess ourselves, and we could have done it a different way.
But no matter how much you think about what you could have done different, it's not going to change what happened.
Correct.
Mary spoke about doing things differently. That option no longer existed. She shifted her focus to faith, stating her son was in a better place.
I believe in God. As much as my faith is kind of right now, because he told me that God has him now. And he's safe now. And he's okay now. And God's got him sitting right next to him. And my grandma said, he's with Grandpa now. Grandpa might not have been able to meet him, but he sees him now.
I believe that.
And they say everything happens for a reason. And God has a plan.
That I do believe.
But what's the reason for this?
There are some things that we're presented with that we may not understand at the time.
I see now that I need help for my depression and my anxiety and stuff. I see now that I need to do something different with my life. But it shouldn't have taken this. Because I genuinely want help now. I genuinely want to do something different. I want to change my life. I want to be a positive person, you know. If I can ever get out of here and, you know, I don't know what else I can do or say to make things any better. Because I'm really trying to just be fully 100% honest. And it's, you know, like I've never talked in detail about what he had done to me before, ever. This is literally the first time I've ever told anyone. It's not like it matters now. Like, I have a picture on my phone of when he made me wear lingerie, and I didn't want to, and it was right after he beat the shit out of me. So it's a picture of me wearing this outfit that he wanted me to wear, and you can see on my legs the bruises going all the way down my thighs on both of my legs, because he wanted me to wear lingerie and he wanted me to take that picture. Little did he know that you could see the bruises in that picture, and I didn't realize it until I saw that picture again. I'm sorry, I know that none of this has anything to do with anything important.
It's important to you on some level to tell me.
Because I've never said anything about it before to anybody. And now I can say something without having to be scared that he'll do something to me for saying something. I mean, it's not like he's going to be held accountable for what he did to me. But I needed to.
You good?
Because now I can say something without having to be scared. And I don't know how I'll get closure for, like, any of this. Like, how am I supposed to...
Closure will come when you're ready for closure. It'll come on when you are ready to mentally resolve it. It'll be on your own. There's no timeline. Each one of us, you know, deals with things at our own pace. There's no magic wand that can say, you know, closure will be tomorrow. It may be 6 months, it may be a year, maybe 5 years. Who knows?
What if I never get closure for this?
Well, you know, that's a distinct possibility.
Because, like, my friend Ryan, he had killed himself, like, years ago, like 10 years ago, maybe even longer than that. And his mom still to this day has the same depression as she did when it first happened. She still can't even slightly move past it. And I feel like I'm going to be in the same situation for the rest of my life.
Well, maybe not. Don't know. And maybe that's where participating in some type of therapy or counseling, maybe...
Do they have, like, support groups for stuff like this?
You go to a therapist. I'm sure that there's support groups out there. But I think starting with a counselor or a therapist.
I think I need a psychiatrist.
Okay, well.
But I talked to my parents and they said, well, if we can get you out of there, the first thing that you're going to do is go straight to Swanson Center or something like that. But you have to be willing to do it. And I said, I'm more than willing to do it because I know now that I need help. I need support. I need help. I need to get my freaking life together. Because for the last 6 years, I've literally not been allowed to get help or do anything to change what's going on. And now he can't tell me what I can and can't do. He can't tell me that I can't talk to my mom. He can't tell me that, oh, well, he has to work, so I can't go to therapy. We don't got time for you to go to therapy. Quit being a whiny little. Maybe you wouldn't have to go. I'm sorry. I know this is sad.
I understand you got a lot that you need to get out. We get that.
I still haven't even finished writing this. I mean, I don't really have much paper to write with, but and that's not going to give me closure either. Writing him a letter is not going to fix it.
Closure happens in time.
Mary pleaded guilty to felony counts of neglect of a dependent causing death and domestic battery. The judge gave her 42 years in prison. A jury convicted Alan Morgan of murder. He received 70 years. The state legislature responded to the case by passing a new statute. Judah's law permits extended family and unlicensed caregivers to intervene when a child faces imminent danger. Judah did not survive. The law exists